Hi. So, the connection between PMS and OCD. This is something that I think is really fascinating, especially because once you dive into it a little bit, and if it affects you in some way, then there's things you can do to improve it. And anything we can do to alleviate our OCD symptoms a little bit is just utterly appreciated and super awesome, even if it's just a little. So, in terms of hormones, okay, this is kind of a lot of information. I'm just going to go pretty basic. So, any questions, just message me, or Google's got tons of stuff. There's everything out there. So, serotonin is a neurotransmitter type of hormone, and it just seemed to me there was a connection because whenever I had my period, my PMS was just horrible. My OCD would just spike like crazy, and it just seemed to me like there was something causing it. So I always thought PMS was normal. I thought that every woman just had it, but yeah, it's not. So if you have crazy, horrible PMS, then something could be wrong. Yeah, it's normal to have discomfort and to be, emotional, but when it's just like disabling, then that's not really good. So symptoms of a hormone imbalance could be anything from acne, dry skin, hair loss, sleeping problems, frequent UTIs, sex drive issues, mood swings. There's like a million more symptoms. And the way you find out if you have one is to talk to your doctor, or you can order hormonal panels online. I ordered one for $60, tested my progesterone and my 2 types of estrogen, as well as my cortisol. And I got my results back. And if you do that online, it's lab work that's being done, so it's not like they're going to give you a diagnosis or anything. They're just going to give you what your levels are, and then you can look up those levels online and sort of research it yourself and find out if it's whatever. And they'll tell you if it's within normal range or not. My progesterone was really low. My cortisol was way too high. So I'm dealing with that now. There's treatments for all this kind of stuff, which is great. And yeah, I just want to stress again how big of a deal this is, because if there's, I don't know, like if my OCD is just getting out of control, terrible, on my period, then it makes it even more disabling, So if I can take the edge off, which I have, then it's such a relief. So if you think this affects you in any way, like I encourage you to do some research about it. You get an imbalance by 3 different causes. The first one would be toxins, anything synthetic in chemical nature, like anything synthetic like a window cleaner or perfume, you name it. Let's see, hormone replacement therapy, so birth control. It's filled with, oh my god, a shitload of estrogen. So if you already have an estrogen dominance, then it could be making things a lot worse. And then eating commercial foods is another one, like human growth hormone is, like, I think it's called like RGBH or something. That's in milk. Cows, animals that eat all this kind of stuff, it's just been chemically treated, full of hormones and antibiotics. So, yeah, it's pretty easy to get one, actually. And so, oh yeah, so treatment options. So I found my progesterone was low, so I'm taking a natural progesterone cream, and I just sort of put a little bit on my wrist. I also tried 5-HTP, which is, you can get it at, a natural store, and that one is like a natural hormone balancer. It's mostly just tryptophan, and so that one's a nice option, but I don't recommend taking that with progesterone. It's a little bit too much, at least it was for me, but that's kind of the beauty about messing around with natural forms of treatment. If you're careful, a lot of herbs like that, they're just really gentle on the system. So it's not like, it's nothing crazy in terms of the intensity, The other thing you can do is go see a naturopath or talk to your doctor, or go to your OBGYN. If you are taking birth control pills and those are causing a problem, you can go on a lower dose of estrogen, so it doesn't have to be quite as intense for you. Eating organically, I'm a big believer of that. I know it's expensive, but do what you can, so like if you can only get a few things organic, then definitely make it dairy and meat. And then in terms of produce, anything that sort of sits in the ground for a long time, like potatoes or apples when they fall off the tree, those are going to be more heavily saturated, so those are of stronger health problem, basically. So lastly, my cortisol. Mine was way too high, so I'm taking some herbs recommended by my naturopath, and those help a lot. So now my period is awesome. It was 6 days, now it's 5. My PMS showed up a week to 10 days before my period, and now it shows up just a couple days before. It's not quite as intense, and my period's not quite as heavy. Um, what else? Yeah, it's just overall it's a lot better. Like I don't even take Advil for it now. It's easier, way easier. So if you think it's an issue, yeah, look it up, get tested, talk to your doctor, all that great stuff. And I wish you all a much happier monthly cycle.